I'm Tiana Meehan, Miss Teen Galaxy Australia 2019, and this is my live interview with the Pageant Project.
Hey everyone, it's Adrian from the Pageant Project, and I'm here with Tiana Meehan, who is Miss Teen Galaxy Australia 2019. Tiana, good morning.
Good morning, hi.
And you are in Sydney, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
That is a first. That is amazing. Guys, if you are watching on the live stream, I've had a couple of questions already, but leave them in the comments and I'll forward them on to Tiana. Also, if you can actually hear us, let me know, because I don't know if you guys tuned in to last night's interview, but there were tech issues all over the place. Hopefully have them all sorted out. And also, Tiana, do you want to just apologize to your mum for making her sit outside?
Sorry, Mum, love you.
So Tiana's mum has been kicked outside apparently, and a bird pooped on her. A rosella, which is an Australian bird, has pooped on her. But Tiana, tell the viewers how you're feeling about. I guess tell them first about your pageant experience, because obviously you won the Teen Galaxy Australia title. So how many pageants have you competed in up to this point?
Well, Galaxy Pageants was my first ever pageant. I've never done any pageants before this. And I found out about it last year and thought, why not just give it a go and see what happens? And here I am representing Australia and America in like 3 days. So
okay, so it didn't work out too badly for you then, obviously.
No, it didn't. Yeah, went pretty well today.
How did you find out about Galaxy?
I found it online and I read about it, and I really love Francesca Hunt.
Mm-hmm.
And because I feel like I relate to her a lot with modeling and everything. And I was like, oh, she won that. Let's see what I can do. So I thought I'll just give it a go. And I went to like the casting workshop at the end of last year, and I met Shah and Jess, and they were really nice. And I got an email back saying, oh, you got into nationals. I was like, oh my God, what? I've never done anything like that before.
And then,
it was really.
And then you won, and now you're heading over to America.
Yeah.
So how are you feeling for America? Are you all packed? Are you all good and ready to go?
I'm not packed yet at all, but I know I'll need about 5 suitcases for everything.
How many outfits are you taking over?
Oh, I couldn't count.
That bad.
But definitely just for my evening gown fashion wear and my orientation dress and everything, I'll need just 1 suitcase for them. So.
How have you found that? I mean, it's quite unusual. I'm trying to think of anyone who won on their first go and then went overseas. But to get ready, also because, as I understand it, so obviously you're the Miss, Alicia and Michelle, they're over in WA, which for those of you who don't know, Australia basically is another country away.
Australia, almost, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Where's your Ms? Is she also in Perth?
Yes.
Okay, so you're basically over here by yourself, and you need to get ready for the internationals. So how has it been preparing for you, given that this was your very first pageant? Now you have to go overseas. So have you been asking your queens for support, or have you just been more trying to figure it out yourself?
Well, we do have a Facebook messenger group chat, so we can keep in contact through that. But I also have Shakai, who is now the new director of Australian Galaxy Pageants, and she's from Sydney. So it's super easy now. And she's come over to my house a few times to help me sort out everything and help me choose what to wear and stuff like that. So it's pretty easy. She's coming tomorrow as well to help all last minute planning and deciding. So it's okay. It's not too hard.
Okay. I mean,
internet.
I saw your YouTube videos. I said one of them you were packing. So does that mean you're a good packer? You seem like you've had to pack a lot like you're used to it?
Yeah, for dancing, like packing costumes, making sure everything's there, like you don't leave anything behind. I'm pretty all right with that. So,
but that seems like good practice for all the costumes you're going to need to take over.
It's fine.
Let's just go to the questions, guys. If you're watching and you have any questions, leave them in the comments. So Sindel Taylor has asked, what would you say to someone who wanted to compete in this system? I mean, obviously, this is the very first one, as we just discussed. But I guess, what was your experience of Galaxy like?
It was so amazing because obviously you see movies and everything of a lot of pageants, and they're kind of like parodies, I guess you could say.
Miss Congeniality.
And the competition's like mean or something. And so I had no idea what it would be like going into it. And I was scared, but I was really excited to see and like meet new people as well. And it was so lovely. And I feel like Galaxy especially is very family orientated. So meaning that it's just very positive. Everyone's very supportive.
Yeah.
Like we're pretty much all like sisters, I guess you could say. And I can just see through Instagram, like all my sister queens and like everyone from around the world that I'll be meeting soon are just very genuine, nice people. And like, yeah, I'm really excited for that.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you want to go into this, just go out, go hard, go home, you know, because it was really amazing. So
perfect.
Yeah.
And speaking of sister queens, so Fernanda, who I think is Miss Teen Galaxy from Boston, Massachusetts, I think, and I'm interviewing her, I think, on Saturday. She's said, can't wait to meet you, beautiful. And then she's asked, how are you preparing for internationals?
Oh, thank you. I can't wait to meet you too. Preparing for internationals. Well, today I'm going to get a few things, but I've just been focusing on like my mindset a lot, being like positive going into it. And I do struggle with like talking to people, like meeting new people. So I've had a life coach that's been helping me deal with like the negative thoughts I would think when I'm talking to someone. So if I'm meeting someone new, I'd have little thoughts in my head like, oh, I could be saying this wrong, or are they judging me and stuff like that. So my life coach really helped me like deal with those thoughts and everything. I also, just like outfits, running around like crazy, trying to fit everything in with school and dance and, hectic.
I do want to mention, so obviously you're here in Australia, we call it year 11. You will probably in a month, so technically be in year 12, right? Because, so, which is a final year. So how are you feeling about that stuff getting real yet?
Oh, no, I'm so scared for year 12, honestly. I mean, it doesn't start till next term, so I'm trying not to think too much about it. But, I mean, I'm not too stressed because I'm not going to go to university because hopefully after school I'll be dancing overseas or something like that because that's what I want for a career. But I do want to just finish year 12 and say that I've finished school as a whole and just enjoy it as much as I can because I do see a lot of year 12s that I'm friends with right now, very stressed, and it's kind of taken over their lives, which I don't want to happen to me.
Yeah.
So
I think the stress levels for people going through school just keep going up and up with all the tests that you guys have to go through. A friend of mine said that the stress levels that someone like yourself has to go through are similar to what like I think it was psychiatric patients or something like that had to go through.
I read something like that on Facebook or something, and there was like results that were exactly the same of like the stress level of school kids and the stress level of people in hospital with like, it's insane.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. Can you tell us what, because obviously it's been a while since I've been in school, but what is it that is most stressful going through like the year 11 and year 12? Is it just the exams or it's something more than that?
I don't know. I think it's also just comparing because I know lately, like when you get into senior years, you find out what your ranks are in the years, and it's like, oh, I'm like really low. I'm like the dumbest or out of everyone in my year for science and stuff. And I think just because people compare themselves to like other people's marks, they think that they're going to fail. And yeah, also just exams as well, like tests and the assignment overloading on like all different subjects, having to be handed in like at the same time can be stressful. But I mean, for me, it's not really like I don't really get stressed out by school because, I don't know why.
Do you feel any, or maybe your friends, I'm asking about, because you said that you know that you want to dance after school finishes, so you kind of already know what you want to do. Yeah. I guess for some others, they may not have as clear as an idea. So for them, do they find it stressful sort of going into year 12 and then suddenly having to decide what they're going to do with the rest of their life?
Yeah, exactly. I think it's really scary for some people that have no idea what they want to do, and then them thinking that their only opportunity to get what they want is like getting into that one university, so they have to get that ATAR. Otherwise, it's like
it's game over.
It's pretty. I can. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy that one moment you're in school and then the next minute you're supposed to suddenly decide what you want to do with the rest of your life.
Exactly. Yeah.
Pretty. Tell us. Lisa Bennett has said that you're doing amazing. She's over in WA as well.
Yeah.
If you don't know by now, everyone from pageantry basically comes from either Perth or from the Gold Coast. It's very rare to anyone from Sydney, Melbourne, or anywhere else. So Sydney represent. Tiana, tell us about dancing and not. I guess obviously you do a lot, so you can tell us that, but also what it means to you, because you know, I am not a dancer by any stretch of the imagination. So, and I'm imagining that you really enjoy it. So tell us about your dancing and just a bit of the background as to that.
Well, I've been dancing since I was 3.
Wow.
Just like, a long time. I was just doing it for fun, like ballet, tap, jazz and everything. Then when I was like at the end of primary school, I realized that I really love dancing and performing on stage. So I said to my mum, like, I want to be a professional dancer. And at that point I was in love with ballet. And I was like, I want to be in the Paris Opera Ballet. Like, that's what I want to do. But then over time I fell in love with musical theatre and Broadway. So I have a teacher that I used to be taught by a lot, Sophie Holloway, who's a Radio City Rockette. She lives here in Sydney and is about to go for her 6th season, I think. I got taught by her a few years ago for the first time and found out all about Rockettes, and I fell in love with it. And I was like, oh, that's what I want to do, is like either Moulin Rouge, Rockettes, or anything Broadway. And so then last year I auditioned for the Radio City Rockettes summer school, like summer intensive, and I fortunately got into that. So I went to New York for a week for that. But then another 5 weeks after that, I did the Joffrey summer intensive, and that was for 5 weeks. So I was in New York for 6 weeks doing Rockettes and Joffrey, and that was a really great experience because I just went with my mum, and like just the whole experience of traveling and like catching the subway every day, like it opened my mind into the real world. Like, this is what it's like, you know, not stuck in like Sydney, the timetable, if that makes sense.
What did you think of the New York subway? I've been on it. What did you think of it?
Yeah, it's so interesting. Every time you go on, there's someone new, someone very different, either performing something or like one day someone has a pet rat, and then the next day someone rapping, and then one day there's someone dancing, swinging on the poles. It's very exciting.
I went to New York literally for 24 hours. I was interviewing a couple of musicians actually, and I went to see one of their live performances as well. And the person who was taking me through New York, she said, on the subway, if you don't push and use your elbows to get through the door, you'll never get out, and you will die in. Did you find the same?
Yeah, so true. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little different to Sydney. So Just give me a second. So guys, if you have any questions for Tiana, leave them in the comments. So obviously you've done a lot of dancing. I mean, you did it when you started when you were 3.
Yeah.
What does dancing mean to you? How does it make you feel? I'm curious about this because as someone who doesn't dance and has 2 left feet, how does dancing make you feel? Does it let you express something? Is it because it's creative? What is it about dance that you love?
There's so much, because obviously the training in class, like either you're just working and training, or you're working towards a dance routine and like cleaning or learning new choreography. But one thing I love is like when you're in class learning a really hard combination or piece of choreography, which is like dance movements to people that don't know. It's like, it's so fun working your brain. So like I know people that love maths is because they love figuring it out. It's kind of like that with dance in your head. And then just performing the combination at the end of class in front of everyone. It's like fun. It's so much fun. And then I love performing on stage because I just love entertaining an audience. It's like a fulfilling feeling, you know. And then obviously getting dressed up in costumes and the hair and the makeup is just more fun added on top of that. But yeah.
Beginning to see a few similarities to pageants right there.
Similarities, exactly.
How did you find, so I'm going to assume that learning the opening dance for you could do it backwards in your sleep.
Probably.
What is the hardest dance routine you've ever had to learn?
Oh, I'm not sure. A lot of them are usually really hard, but I do have one choreographer that I love. His name's Matt Godey, and his choreography is so like intricate, and like it has to be so clean to look effective on stage. His choreography, whether I'm in class or learning a dance routine, is like the hardest one for sure. And then not mentally wise, like trying to pick up the choreography, but for Rockettes, the summer intensive, like how hard it is very intense. And like you have to push through and have like a high pain tolerance because you're obviously in heels all day and everything. And by the end, your feet are so swollen. But then when you're performing on stage at the end of the week, it's like, oh, it was all worth it, you know?
I'm really seeing a lot of similarities with pageants here. So I think your dance career has definitely prepared you for pageantry. Sure. Give us an insight as to how long it takes to learn a particular dance. I mean, I don't even know what sort of dance is like. Is it group solo? Is it 5 minutes? Is it 10 minutes? Is it an hour? And then how long does it actually take you to learn that? Like, what's the process?
It just depends really because my outside dance school, Brent Street, I just go there 2 days a week, so Wednesday afternoons and then all day Saturdays. We do have like our dance comp routines. So for the past like 2 terms, we were working on them. And obviously some weeks like our teachers aren't there and we just do like a fun open class. But usually it's just 1 hour classes for each style of dance. So for hip hop, tap, contemporary, lyrical, everything like that, once a week for like 2 terms. And then we kind of put it all together and then go to competitions, which we've been doing for the past few weekends, and competing with them with those routines.
So is it fair to say that you're dancing pretty much every day? It certainly sounds like it.
Yeah, including at school and like dance company at Newtown High School. It's like, yeah, dance every day.
So I'm assuming you don't need to hit the gym at all then.
I mean,
it sounds like you're pretty active as it is.
Because dancing is obviously like physical activity. Yeah. But I do love going to the gym too. So I kind of fit in around 2 sessions of going to the gym a week.
Wow. Okay. So do you have any downtime?
Yeah, I think.
You think?
I mean, I count like going on the train to school and then like
wow.
I usually go to bed pretty late, so it's all right. I can fit everything in.
I can see that. You said that you were creative, and you mentioned your YouTube channel as well when you sent your video to me. So tell us about your YouTube channel. Is that like just another creative outlet? Do you have any goals for it?
Yeah, well, it's really funny because when I was younger, in about year 17, I had so many YouTube videos that I'd create, like little skits as well. I'd be like types of people at school, and I did like, I think I did a video cooking with Tiana, and I like tried to make an omelet.
But hang on, I looked at your channel. There's only 3 videos on it.
Because then that I put them all in private because I think last year there were people like I realized, oh my god, these videos are still up. How embarrassing! All in private. And then this year, I don't know why, I just like fell back in love with creating YouTube videos and stuff. But I want to do a video reacting to all my old videos because I think that would be pretty funny.
How did the omelette go?
They turned into scrambled eggs, I guess. Yeah.
Do you think you can do a better one now?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool. Let's take it back to pageantry for a second. I'm just going to check if we had any more questions. Heading over to America, what are you most excited about? Is it the chance to meet new people? Or is it just a chance to have a holiday away from school? Like, what is the most exciting part for you?
That too, but yeah, I'm really excited to meet everyone. Like, because you see each other online, it's like I feel like when you meet everyone, it makes it so much more real. Like, wow, this is actually happening, and it's also just excited to see like all the hard work everyone's put into this pageant and everything, like the appearances and like seeing everyone work up to this huge event. It's like exciting to see it all come together. Yeah.
And are you just heading over there for the pageant and then you have to come straight back to school, or are you going to have a bit of time off?
No, I'm just there for a week and then coming straight back. So hopefully my body can handle the time differences, but
well, I guess you're going to find out one way or another, aren't you?
Yeah.
Now you mentioned that after school you want to dance. So do you have any particular goals that you've set for yourself with your dancing career?
Well, because I know Moulin Rouge comes to Australia every second year. They came last year, but I was in New York for the Rocket Summer Intensive and Joffrey. But they're coming next year, so I'm going to see what happens there and audition and see if I can get any feedback if I unfortunately don't get in. I also will audition for Rockettes and see what happens there. Otherwise, I'd love to go to do a full-time course overseas in either Europe or America.
Perfect. When you go and audition, I guess again it's similar to pageantry, no surprise. But let's say that you don't get through, or you get rejected. I'm assuming that not every time you've auditioned you've been successful. How do you deal with that rejection? Because it seems again like pageantry, it would almost feel quite personal, especially when you put so much hard work into it.
Yeah, especially when you put a lot of hard work into it. Obviously, you get a feeling of like, oh, that it hurts, you know. I think you just have to have a lot of perseverance and going in there just hoping for it. Because I think if you go in then thinking, oh, I'm going to get it, then it hurts way more being rejected. But just going in there with a positive attitude, thinking if you like leave the audition and you say you didn't get in, you don't think, oh, I didn't get in, I'm not good enough. You say, okay, what could I learn from this? What did I learn from this? You know, you just have to put a more positive outlook on the whole thing. And I do say a lot of the time everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
So, you know, I always think that if I'm ever rejected, whenever I'm rejected by something.
What are the lessons? I mean, you've been dancing, 14 years? God, that's a long time. What are the lessons, the biggest lessons that you feel that you've learned from your dance career so far?
I think focusing on yourself. So when you're in class, or when you're about to perform on stage, whether it's for solos or group competitions, it's just focus on yourself and not compare to anyone else. Or when you're in the class, like, this is your time to improve. And yeah, like, don't think, oh, they're dancing better than me. Again, just being more positive, like, oh, what could I learn from what they're doing right now? If you're doing like the combination in groups and you're standing on the side watching, like, just learning from other people and like developing new like aspects to put into your like choreography that you do. Like, oh, their head went like this, I could try that. And then it's like, oh, that looks really good. So,
yeah,
you know, stuff like that. Just learning.
Yeah.
Learning.
And what personal qualities do you think are most important to making it in dancing? You already mentioned perseverance, which I can only imagine. Are there any sort of other qualities that you think are really important in dancing?
I think performance quality is very important, because obviously you can be a really technical dancer, or you can do like all the cool little groove things and stuff. But if you want to perform on stage, especially, like, you have to have a lot of performance quality and be able to like open up, because when you perform on stage, it's obviously about the audience and you want to draw them in. So if you're like just dancing within yourself, it also depends on what the story or meaning of the dance is about or what you're trying to portray. But you want to bring the audience in, because that's what's interesting and good in a dancer, is when you can connect with people. And also just being really supportive, putting yourself out there, making connections with people is really important too.
Again, that sounds like it's really going to do well for you in pageantry, because it's almost exactly the
Oh, it is, yes.
My interview last night with Ms. Galaxy 2019, she was saying almost exactly the same thing as you. So, Tiana, just before we go to the final 10 questions, and guys, if you have any questions for Tiana or any messages of support, put them in the comments. But Tiana, just for social details so people can follow your journey, I've got your Instagram handle underneath, so Miss Teen Galaxy Australia 2019. And then there's obviously your Facebook page as well. So I imagine those two would be the best ones to find you on?
Yes. Yeah, they're good.
And then your YouTube channel as well.
And my YouTube channel, which is just Tiana Meehan. Yeah.
Perfect. When are you going to start those reaction videos? Are you going to do that after Galaxy?
I think so, yeah. I don't have time right now. I'm running all over the place trying to get everything organized.
I was going to say, you don't seem to have much time. That doesn't surprise me with pageant competitors in general, but for someone in year 11, I mean, how do you manage your time, just out of interest? Because you sound insanely busy.
I think I do have a timetable that, if I'm being honest, I don't really follow. but yeah, I have study periods at school, so I set my time for school then. Then Sundays, if I need to do a sit-down video for YouTube, I'll film on that day. Or if I do a vlog, then I can edit on Sunday or something. And then, yeah, it's just planning your week ahead. Like, oh, I know I don't have dancing this night, so I'll do the English homework then, so then I can do this the next day, stuff like that.
So it sounds like your life is really planned around the dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you going to vlog about your Galaxy trip?
Yes, I am. I'm going to vlog the week. I'll probably do a little series, like the first 2 days, and like section it out. Yeah.
Maybe just make sure there's lots of space on your phone.
Yes, I know. I need to set up everything because I don't want to lose all my storage.
Empty that phone out. Okay. Yeah. So let's go towards the close. We'll go with the final 10 questions. It's like good preparation for interview. Okay, so here we go. Question 1 is, what is your favorite word?
I think my favorite word is yet, because I think yet can change, is like a huge positive word that's so simple. So if you have the thought in your head, I can't do this, or whatever it is, like I can't do this maths equation, I can't do this dance combo, I can't do this kick for dance or whatever. If you just put yet on the end of the sentence, it changes the whole idea of that thought
Yep.
and can make it way more positive.
Yep. I love that. That's a really cool answer. I've never had that answer to that question before, and you're absolutely spot on. Changes the whole meaning of the sentence. Question 2, so all these questions will basically go in pairs. So number 1 was, what was your favorite word? So question 2 is, what is your least favorite word?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to guess it's can't.
No. Can't is a T with can for try or something. No, just kidding. I think my least favorite word is no.
Okay.
Because, yeah, simple again, but like obviously because I hate hearing the word no with whatever it is, like no, like say yes.
I've interviewed so many successful people, and the number of people who've said that exact answer for the same thing, and they've had the exact same facial expression that you just had, even when they think about getting told no, they're like don't tell me no. So,
don't tell me no.
If anything, it's the best way to get you to do it because someone's told you no. Okay, so question 3, in life, what gets you excited?
Anything spontaneous, so anything last minute, as I don't know why, it's just like exciting, and then you're on a roll and you just want to keep going. It's like an adrenaline rush, or just being on my feet all the time, so which really is good because of my schedule. So throughout the week I'm just on a roll, like on a grind, I guess you could say. Just
You sound like if you actually had time off, you wouldn't know what to do with yourself.
No, yeah, almost.
You just fill it up with something.
Yeah, I know when I'm sick, I'm like sitting around and I come out of my room and I'm like, Mum, I'm so bored. She's like, but you're sick, so you can't do anything. I'm like, I know, but I'm bored.
God, okay. And then you sent your poor mum out to get pooped on by a Rosella. Bridget D'Angelo Croteau has said, love that answer. I'm not sure which answer, but she loves your answer. Sindel has asked again, so why Galaxy? Sindel, we answered that right at the beginning. But Tiana, this is actually Tiana's first pageant, and she loved her experience, and she said it was family friendly, focused on family. So question 3 was, what gets you excited? What turns you on? So question 4 is, what turns you off?
I kind of already mentioned it. I think just sitting around and feeling like I'm not doing anything, it brings down my whole like energy level, and I'm like, I need to do something, like go out, do anything, like, be active. Yeah,
it looks like you actually have problems even just sitting still. It looks like you want to burst out and start dancing right now. Just you need to start doing this. Okay, so question 5, what sound or noise do you love?
I think anyone can agree with this, is like rain. You know, when you're lying in bed and it's like raining, it's the most amazing sound, and like it just puts you to sleep. It's so beautiful. I love the sound of rain, especially on a tin roof.
Yeah, but hang on.
When it's like rain, it's so good.
You'd have to stay still to appreciate the sound.
Yeah, no, it's time for bed, so it's fine.
Okay, all right. Question 6, what sound or noise do you hate?
I think when people eat with their mouths open, so gross.
Yep.
Just close your mouth. I don't need to know.
They always sit right next to you and they always chew in your direction. I got that. Sindel has...
Like you're like...
Yeah. I call it moist chewing. Lots of saliva. Please stop. Please stop. Question 7. This is a one-off question. If you could have any one superpower, what would you pick and why?
Invisibility, definitely. I've always had, you know, when you ask that question when you're a little kid and it's like flying and stuff, I've always said invisibility.
Because
you just like hear little secrets. It's like the most fun out of all of them. You can find out stuff you're not meant to know.
Anytime anyone says invisibility, it's always like the mischievous. One of the other people I interviewed, she said she wanted to go and be able to steal clothes. I was like, maybe you shouldn't have said that in an interview. You want to hear all the inside goss, do you?
Yeah, a little fly on the wall.
Fair enough. Okay. Question 8. I guess this is a bit different because you haven't left school yet. Normally it's what job or occupation other than your own would you most like to attempt? But I guess in your case be like, other than dancing, what's a job or occupation that you would most like to attempt?
Other than dancing, I feel like something that can influence people a lot. I do know I want to do modeling as well, which I'm trying to get into, but no agencies will accept me.
Well, just got to wait a year.
For a lot of agencies, they've like rejected me, which obviously I've said how I deal with rejection. So I think modeling as well.
Okay.
Is also something I want to do other than dance.
And what's a job or occupation that you definitely would not like to attempt?
Or something with the office, because one, sitting down doing nothing.
This obviously makes you very uncomfortable.
It's really not what I want to be doing. And I'm also terrible with computers. My mum always says to me, "You're the only millennial I know that can't work computers." I don't know why, I just suck with technology. But give me something creative, I can make it on a computer, anything creative, but not anything technical on the computer. I'm terrible with it.
You sound like an old soul, because I know that you also like the old music. Like you put on one of your stories, I Don't Want to Set the World on Fire. I was like amazed you even know that song.
I have a whole, like all my Spotify playlists are just dedicated to old music. I love old-fashioned anything. I have a lot of old-fashioned morals. Love old music. Just everything classic. Like love Audrey Hepburn, Marilyn Monroe.
Wow.
Then love Aretha Franklin and just beautiful. Love it.
Where did that come from? Do you know? Has it just always been that way, or did someone influence you?
Not sure. I just know that I've had an appreciation for a lot of old music when I was younger, and even just rock music from the 90s and everything, because my dad would listen to it in the car and everything. I think that kind of had an influence. I'm not really sure.
That's fascinating. I mean, those songs are properly old. Like that one I mentioned, I think that's back from the 60s or something like that. So it's fairly old. Okay, last question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
I reckon I would want him to say, "Hi, welcome. Here's your family." And he opens the gates, and it's just all my family, like my grandma, my aunt, my pop, cousins, everyone that have passed away in like my lifetime that I know, or even from the past I've never met before. Like, "Oh, hi," that would be nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to let you go in a sec. Don't hang up with me just yet. But I'm going to thank you, obviously, for the interview. And best of luck with over in America.
Thank you.
Sounds like your dance career has prepared you so much for pageantry. It's like you've been preparing for this pageant for 14 years. So I'm sure you'll ace it. If you love being on stage, that's one of the big qualities you need to be in pageantry. If you don't like the stage, you're in the wrong industry. But I'll keep you on for just a second, but I'll let the audience go. Best of luck, Tiana. And,
thank you so much.
My pleasure. And I'm just going to thank everyone for watching, and we'll speak to you again soon. Hey, it's Adrian. Thanks so much for watching. If you'd like to keep up to date with our interviews, then make sure to subscribe by clicking here. If you'd like to watch some of our interviews right now, then click here, and also make sure to follow us on all our socials right here. Speak to you next.